G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video I will be going over my official NRL ladder predictions for 2024, and as you can see I've taken the time to go through all 27 rounds game by game giving my predictions. Now I've taken into consideration state of origin, who'd be in, who'd be out. I've taken in past upsets, so like teams like Parramatta, who always seem to beat Penrith, and teams like the West Tigers, who occasionally seem to beat my Rabbitohs. So yeah, I've sped through it all so you guys see a quick little glimpse of it, but I will now jump in and go over how I went, what my ladder looks like. Let's get into it. Righto guys, so my 2024 NRL ladder predictions are in. And let's go over it one by one, starting from 17 all the way up to number 1. For number 17, I've gone with St. George Illawarra. So I've got them winning 3 games, losing 24, with 3 buys. That gives them 12 points. And yeah, pretty disappointing year in my opinion. In my opinion, it will be a disappointing year for the Dragons. In 16th spot, I've gone with the Canberra Raiders. I've given them 4 wins, 20 losses, with 3 buys. That gives them 14 points for the season. So again, pretty disappointing year for the Raiders, falling from 8th spot all the way down to 16th. I do think that Jack Whiten will be a massive loss. Look, I could be proven wrong, but yeah, I think the Raiders will finish pretty much around the bottom of the ladder. Next up, we've got the West Tigers in 15th. 8 wins, so a big improvement on last season. And 3 buys, it gives them 16 points in total. So not terrible, but obviously not great either. Next up, I've got in 14th the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Another team that's improved pretty well on last year. 10 wins, 3 buys, gives them 26 points. So a pretty good improvement there for the Bulldogs. All right, next up, I've got the Manly Sea Eagles in 13th. This one was tough because I generally think Manly are a team, if all goes well, that could make the top 8. Unfortunately, I don't see them doing it this season though, so I've got them with 11 wins, 3 buys, giving them 28 points. Right, next up, we've got the 12th ranked team, and that for me is going to be the Parramatta Eels. Pretty big fall off once again. Look, they definitely are another team that could make the finals. I personally can't see it happening though. So I do have the Eels sitting in 12th spot there. 12 wins, 3 buys, giving them 30 points. In 11th, I've got the Cronulla Sharks, another team that was in the top 8 last season and has unfortunately fallen out. I've also given them 12 wins, 3 buys, leaving them with 30 points. All right, in 10th spot, I've got the Gold Coast Titans. Massively improved season. They also have 12 wins, 3 buys, 30 points. So pretty good year for the Titans, and I do think that while they will improve in 2024, I think this year is just going to be a building season for the Titans, and Des Hasler, I think he's just going to sculpt that team the way he wants, and they will be a final side in 2025. Next up, I've got the North Queensland Cowboys. An improved season for them. It is improved. They had 13 wins and 3 buys, so that puts them up to 32 points. Unfortunately, for and against has them missing out on the top 8. All right, rounding out the top 8. In 8th spot, I've gone with the Dolphins. So adding Herbie Farnworth, adding Tommy Flegler, Jake Averillo, I think those players are really going to help them solidify themselves in the top 8. And with Wayne Bennett coaching his last year with the Dolphins, I do think they will go on a pretty decent run. So I also have them winning 13 games, 3 buys, giving them 32 points. They get up there with a better for and against than the Cowboys. In 7th spot, a bit of a fall off for this team. I've gone with the Warriors. I still think they will be a force in 2024, but I don't think they will be as dominant as they were in 2023. The Warriors finish my season with 14 wins, 3 buys, giving them 34 points. All right, in 6th spot, I have gone with the Newcastle Knights. The Knights, for me, finished the season with 14 wins and 3 buys. They finished the season with 34 points, so pretty strong year there for Newcastle. It is a little bit of a fall off. They finished 5th in the real season in 2023, so a little bit of a fall off, but still pretty good season for the Knights. Next up, I've gone with the Melbourne Storm in 5th, so they do miss out on the top 4. 15 wins, 3 buys. That gives them a finish with 36 points. So unfortunately, for and against does keep them out of the top 4, with the 4th place team on slightly more for and against. So my 4th place side is the South Sydney Rabbitohs. I do think with the acquisition of Jack White, we are going to be a much more improved team. The Rabbitohs finished with 15 wins, 9 losses, 3 buys, which gives them also a total of 36 points. They've got 7 more for and against points than the Storm, so they do finish in the top 4. Next up, I've gone with the Sydney Roosters in 3rd spot. Roosters also finished with 15 wins, 9 losses, and 3 buys, finishing with 36 points as well. Their for and against is 8 points better than the Rabbitohs, so they do finish in 3rd. The Brisbane Broncos, for me, finish in 2nd once again. 15 wins, 9 losses also, with 3 buys, giving them 36 points as well. Their for and against is quite a lot better than the Roosters. That gives them the 2nd spot on the ladder. And once again, the mighty Penrith Panthers finished the season in 1st spot with 18 wins, 6 losses, and 3 buys, leaving them with 42 points. So that is my 2024 NRL ladder prediction, guys. We're going to head off and do the finals predictions before I end off the video. So thank you so much for tuning into this one too, guys. Leave a like and subscribe. Now let's talk about the 2024 NRL Final Series. Righto, legends, let's do this. Finals week 1 of 2024. Pretty crazy the teams we're looking at here, but yeah, look, I'm pretty excited for it. So starting things off, we've got the Penrith Panthers against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. This will be played at Penrith. I genuinely believe Panthers win this one, unfortunately. As a Rabbitohs fan, I would love to say the Bunnies get up, but I just can't see it happening. So, yeah, the Panthers have some sort of hoodoo over us, especially in finals, so I'm going to back the Panthers there. Storm and Dolphins, this will be an interesting game. Played at Melbourne, I think Storm should win this one, but you just never know with a Wayne Bennett coach team. I am going to tip Storm, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins did cause a bit of an upset there. Next up, we've got the Knights against the Warriors. This game is another one that definitely could go either way. However, because it is being played in Newcastle, I am going to back the Knights in that one. I think they will be too strong. So Newcastle win that. And then we've got the Brisbane Broncos against the Sydney Roosters. At Suncorp, it should be a win for the Broncos, but the Roosters have had a pretty good season. I think I'm going to back the Broncos in this one, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Roosters did win. All right, next up, finals week 2. We've got the South Sydney Rabbitohs against the Melbourne Storm, and then the Sydney Roosters against the Newcastle Knights. 2 very entertaining games of footy. I think the I know the Storm and the Rabbitohs bogey side. Storm have had the wood over the Rabbitohs for years. We've only just recently started winning a few games against Melbourne. With the game being in Sydney and, the Rabbitohs having a really, really strong team, I do think we can beat the Storm here. So I am going to back the Bunnies in that one. And then we've got the Roosters against the Knights. Look, I think this will be a cracking game. But the Roosters side in 2024, I think, is going to be well and truly better than it was in 2023. And they finished pretty well in 2023. So I am going to back the Roosters in that one. So we go to finals week 3. A very interesting set of finals here. We've got the Penrith Panthers against the Sydney Roosters, and then the Brisbane Broncos against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. So starting things off, we've got the Panthers and Roosters. This will be an absolute cracker of a game. I reckon one of the best games of the season. Panthers going for that 4 in a row, and they're going to want to do it for players like Jerome Luai, who will inevitably be leaving in 2025. Whereas the Roosters, they've got a lot of aging players, and I'd say while they've got a lot of young players coming through, the premiership window isn't as open as it probably once was. So, like, this game definitely could go either way, but I am going to go the safer option here and pick the Penrith Panthers. Now, in the second game, we've got the Brisbane Broncos, we've got the South Sydney Rabbitohs. This is always it always tends to be a pretty close game. The Broncos last year won both games against the... Oh, no, they didn't. No, sorry. The Rabbitohs did win the first game at Suncorp. And then I'm pretty sure that... Yeah, no, they did. It was a convincing win at Suncorp. And then we lost to the Broncos at Sunny Coast. So I think for this one, we will probably see... I don't think the Broncos win this. I'm going to back my boys into this one. I think the Rabbitohs can get the job done there. So a repeat of the 2021 Grand Final. The 2021 Grand Final. I don't know what I'm saying here. Panthers against the Rabbitohs. And obviously, I'd love to tip my boys here. I actually don't think I ever tip the Rabbitohs to win in these prediction videos, which is probably insane. Maybe I should start doing that. But I genuinely believe the Panthers are going to get their fourth premiership in a row. I think they will beat the Rabbitohs in the grand final in 2024. I just think they're going to want to do it for players like Jerome Luai leaving in 2020 at the end of 2024. Yeah, I think the Panthers win. It's crazy to say, it is honestly insane, but I am backing the Panthers, unfortunately. So I do think we'll see a repeat of the 2021 grand final with the Panthers unfortunately beating South Sydney in the big dance. Let me know your picks for 2024, guys. Have an amazing holiday period. I probably will upload this around New Year's. I doubt this goes up before Christmas, but if it does, I hope you have a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. And if it's uploaded after Christmas, I hope you guys had a great Christmas and an enjoyable New Year's. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, my friends, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.